So this is the bike I'm going to be converting into an e-bike using a mid-motor kit from Bafang. But there's some issues which I need to address. I don't have answers to these questions yet, but I'm going to be finding out. The mid-drive motor kit arrived today. Essentially, this particular bike, it's a mountain bike. It's a very entry-level, cheap mountain bike, but it was really good value for money when I bought it. Essentially, it's a 21 speed. It's a 721 speed bike, which means it's got 7 gears in the rear, but it's got three ranges. So three sevens are 21 speed. Um, so essentially, the mid motor kit, most of the videos that I've seen involve just a single chain ring in the bottom bracket area, and but this particular bike has it has three sprockets instead of just one sprocket. Three different size sprockets for three ranges of the gears. So essentially, I have to solve that problem. Can I still use the same? So instead of having just one cassette in the back for the rear wheel hub, I now have two cassettes. One for the rear wheel hub and one for this bottom bracket frame area. This one has 7 sprockets for the 7 speed, or rather the 7 gears, and this one has 3 sprockets. So there's two cassettes, one in the rear hub and one here. So most of the installations that I've seen for the Bafang mid-motor kit involve just one sprocket here, which is I think maybe a 42 tooth or a 44 tooth sprocket, but this has three different sprockets. And I think the way the sprocket mounts on the motor, I think they have 5 screws or something like that. So um, I do see some screws here, but they don't look the same. And I think these are just 4 screws, not 5 screws. So I don't know how to approach this. This is where the motor would mount. This particular mountain bike, the model is it's a Genesis V2100. And this particular model was sold many years ago. It's still being sold. I think it's being sold by a company called Kent. So it's a very entry level mountain bike. This is what it is. It's a V2100 aluminum frame, and Genesis is the name of the company. So there's a couple of different options I can think of. One idea that I had is maybe I can get rid of so this is how the speeds work. On the left I have this selector lever. Right now it's on the lowest gear, and on the right I also have the speed selector, the gear selector. So when I change this, I can downshift or upshift. So when I downshift or upshift, this derailer moves accordingly. The thing I saw in the video is that you should never shift gears when the bike is not in motion. It depends on motion to be able to shift gears, so that's just another FYI. Yeah, so essentially what I can do is I can get rid of these three cassettes. Maybe I don't need the range I can remove this whole assembly to get rid of this range selector, but this also has a brake lever, but I could also replace the brake lever with another brake lever, so I don't have this combined gear selector with the um, brake lever. And I can get rid of this cassette and replace it with just a single sprocket. I would lose, let's see, I would be going from a 21 speed to just a regular 7 speed. But I think if I choose the right gear here, I get a I get the entire range of all the 7 speeds. So I can use it to go uphill in the first one or two gears, and then I can get a full range of gears if I just choose the right sprocket here. I think the mid gear here, the 42 tooth or the 44 tooth, can probably give me the full range of the 7 speed. So that's one idea. The other idea is I can somehow make this cassette fit the essentially fit the uh, motor. There are 5 screws on the motor, and I don't know if that's a good idea, but I can uh, try to make this fit on the motor, this cassette, instead of the stock sprocket. The other issue is also the alignment. So essentially I want to have to make sure that the chain is properly aligned with the motor. The motor might pop out a bit. So then the question is, how do I get and that would cause the chain to pop out also, causing it not to be straight. So then the idea is, there's some ideas I could use. The motor has some wiggle room. I think this is a 68 millimeter bottom bracket, so the motor can be actually adjusted. I can add some kind of what do they call, shims, or I can add some brackets here to offset the motor on the other side, so to bring the sprocket back, the chain ring back towards the frame, to adjust for the difference, to make this chain ring be adjusted correctly. So that's another idea. I think Johnny Nerd suggested that idea, if you want to adjust this to bring the motor back this way. So that's one idea. There are also, I think you can also buy these cassette or sprocket offset kind of brackets, or to adjust those, but that's to bring the cassette out. I've also seen another video where I can eliminate some of the 7 gears and sort of shorten this cassette. So I have to find out how I can make this motor fit with this 21 speed transmission. So yeah, that's about it for now. And the other issue is I have to also make sure the battery fits. I have this bottle holder, but I have to make sure the battery will actually fit here. I think it should, but I'm not 100% sure. The Bafang mid-motor kit that I ordered, it actually, I think by mistake, they sent me a rear rack battery. I had actually ordered a 52 volt 20 amp hour battery, which is a down tube battery, but they sent me 48 volt 17.5 milliamp or yeah 48 volt 17.5 amp hour battery, which is supposed to be mounted on the rear, like a a rear rack. but I already contacted them, and I'm going to be returning that to get the battery that I really ordered, which is the down tube battery. uh, I sort of eyeballed it and kind of guessed it should fit, but I haven't confirmed that, so I have to confirm that too. That's the other issue I have to handle.